Hello and welcome to the lecture. Let's understand two more tags, that is div and span tag. So for that, let's create a folder. Call it div and span folder. And then we'll create two separate files. One is div to understand the div tag. Then we'll create one more for the span tag. So let's go to brackets, open the div file. We'll copy the boilerplate and we'll call it as div tag. Okay, I will remove all these things. Let's understand what is the purpose of the div tag. Div tags are denoted like this, div, which is nothing but division tags. Okay, they are used to create divisions, means they collect a group of elements together to form something called as a division, okay, or as a group. So div tags are called as division tags and they help to divide the tags into groups. Okay, and then you can actually apply special formatting onto them. We haven't learned about CSS yet, but when you go to CSS you will see the power of div. The div is basically something like a container. You put all the elements inside it and then you apply some rules on that container, and when you apply that rule on the container, all the elements, that is p tag, h tag, horizontal line, whatever is the tags inside this div tags will get that rule applied. So divs are very popular tags in HTML. So if you take any random page online, right click and view source, you will find that there will be div tags, because div tags are division, they are containers, so you group elements together. Okay, and div act as a container to wrap the elements together. So let me even write that. They act as container to wrap the elements together. Okay, so one thing that you have to remember about div tags are, well, you group elements using div, okay, but you will not write, but you don't write content inside it. Okay, I'll explain you what that means. When we write content, we use p tag, right? You can even write div tag, right? But we don't use div tag to write content. Okay, it's not a problem that you should not write it, but typically division tags are container tags. How you do it? You write p tag and you embed your content inside the p tag. So that's how you basically write the div tags. Okay, you can write n number of tags inside the div tag, and that's basically the collection of elements, or you can call as container, which will form a nice group of elements. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's create a div tag, and inside this we will create h1 tag, and then we will also create p tag, and we'll copy paste the lorem ipsum here. Okay, so let's copy and paste this, and then we paste one more here. Okay, so this is basically a container with a group of elements. It's nothing special in terms of visibility, right? When you view the div tags, there's nothing special about div tags, because you have embedded the p tag, so the new lines are coming. You embedded h1 tag, so the h1 tag is visible, but the main purpose of div tag is to group those elements together. All right, so let's look at span tag. So let's create one more file. So let's open up the span tag and let's do an example of span tag. All right, so the span tag is using this span span, right? Span tag also is like a division tag. So we'll try to understand what is the difference between div tag and a span tag, and all the purpose that we discussed about div tag is actually also applicable for span tag. Span tag also used to group the elements together. Okay, when they both are same, so what is the difference? So let's understand the difference between div and span. So let's write a line here, then let's write a span tag. We'll write one more span tag here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same content and I'm going to use the div tags. Okay, and let's observe what is going to happen. Then you'll understand what is the difference between a divs and a span tag. Okay, so once you run this, you have two text 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 wrap with span and 1 and 2 wrap with div. Okay, so let's open this file. Okay, you can see the difference 1 and 2, that is with the span tag. So this is basically with the div tag, right? So you have to say div, and then here you have to say div. That's easy to read then, right? So the difference is very much visible. Span tag does not add new lines, wherein every div tag that you write will embed a new line. So that's the only difference between span and div, and in most cases you will go with div, right? Basically div will give you a new line so that you have a new block to start with. In case you don't want to have any blocks, you just want to have a running text wherein you don't want to have new lines, then you can go ahead and start using the span tag. Okay, but purpose of div tag and the span tag is basically the same. They both help to group the elements together. Okay, so that's all about div and span, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture. Let's look at three things in HTML. One is white space, HTML entities, and another one is case sensitivity. Okay, so let's do an example to understand these three things. I'll call it as white space. We'll create a file called whitespace.html. Let's open this up. Copy the bootstrap. Okay, here we'll do three things. So first we will see what is case sensitive, whether HTML can understand upper caps. Okay, because if this case sensitive, then it should not be able to understand. If it is not case sensitive, then in any case that you write, then it should be able to understand it. Then you can say HTML is not case sensitive. Okay, so let's run this. So if you're able to see h1 tag, then that is true that HTML is not case sensitive. So it's able to recognize that, and HTML is not case sensitive, which means you can write your p tag like this, or you can write your p tags like this, uppercase or lowercase. Any case should be fine. And also we have also seen previously, let's copy the lorem ipsum. Okay, we also seen about the white spaces. The more white spaces you have in the paragraph tag, okay, new lines, white spaces, you know, anything that you want to add in the space, right? It doesn't really matter when you add white spaces in the HTML. End of the day, all the white spaces will be stripped off and it will not be visible. Okay, so you see we added the new line here after the dummy, simple dummy, but it doesn't really care. But if you look at the output, if you look at the page source, you will see there are spaces available. So white spaces are ignored by HTML. You have to understand this concept. White spaces are not displayed. So when you're writing HTML, don't really worry about white spaces. Unless you're writing a pre-tag, then you have to worry about white spaces in the new line. But you cannot really add white spaces by adding white spaces in HTML page. Okay, well, this brings to a conclusion. How will you add a white space? If I really want a white space, how will I do it? And how do you add a new line? We have seen this previously. Can you make a guess? How do you add a new line? Yes, we'll use br tag. Okay, the more br tags you have, the more new lines you will get. That's what we are seeing it here, right? Br tags will help you to add new lines. But how about the space? If I want something like this, like this, like this, and like this, how are you going to do it? how you're going to add the spaces, multiple spaces, right? Not one space but multiple spaces. When I add more spaces, so many spaces should come out here, and I don't want to write under pre, I want to still write under paragraph tags. Okay, that is done via something called as HTML entities. HTML entities are short notations which you can use to replace special characters when you display them onto the HTML page. Well, HTML entities are starting with ampersand, okay, and they end with semicolon. So anything that is starting with ampersand and ending with semicolons are called as HTML entities. And you can add space by saying NBSP semicolon, right? The more you add NBSP semicolons, the more spaces are being added. You are seeing on the right hand side, right, the spaces are being added. You see the Y is moving it here. This is because of the HTML entities. So there are list of HTML entities which you can use. Well, you can use NBSP, and there are other special characters as well. So if you go to this URL, I have added this URL in the material folder. So this URL basically gives you list of all these special characters. Okay, you can just use these special characters. As I told you, these are HTML entities starting with ampersand, ending with semicolons. Once you use this, you will see the symbol in the output. Alright, so instead of going through all these things, I'm just going to copy paste something here, just a high level list of all the HTML entities. Okay, so if you want to show less than and a greater than symbol, typically all the tags will not be shown here. You see, you are not able to see P, but you want to show P as an P less than and greater than, then less than is an HTML entity, GT is a HTML entity which is representing with G greater than symbol. Okay, so if you write this kind of HTML entities, then the symbols are displayed. Typically if you write P, you will not be able to display it, but if you really have a need to display it, then you go with the HTML entities. Okay, similarly if you want to display ampersand, dollar, @ copyright symbol, pi symbol, some symbol, so there's basically a list of it. It's a very big list, and these are the characters that basically you cannot find on the keyboard as well. So it's very hard to get this copy and paste into the HTML page. So what we typically do is we try to follow the HTML entities, and then we use this HTML entities to display this special symbol onto the HTML pages. Alright, if you want to show an heart, you can use this heart and show onto the web page. So let's look into this. Let's add a paragraph here. Okay, that is how you basically add special characters, that is the special symbols, onto the web page. And I've given this link in the material folders. You can go ahead and access this page. Keep this as a reference whenever you want to have a reference for special symbols and you want to know what are the HTML entities. You can go ahead and go to this entities link, and then you can browse through all the different types of entities that you have. You have mathematical, arrow, letters like, punctuation, Greek, spacing, and all those special characters as well. Okay, so understand white spaces, it is ignored. HTML is not case sensitive, and for special symbols you have something called as HTML entities. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture on iframes. So let's look at iframes in HTML. Iframes are nothing but if you want to embed pages into pages, if you want to display one or more pages in a single page, then you go with an iframe. Okay, so let's create iframe example. Because we have to create so many pages in order to embed them, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste all those pages and then we'll see how to embed them. So I'm going to copy paste all the files here. Let's go to brackets now and let's verify our files. Okay, if you look at the frames, let's open this first. Okay, if you open this up, okay, you can see there are page1.html and page2.html. okay, and page1.html is having 3 links. So when you click home, that's basically your page2.html. when you click about, then you go to an about.html. when you click contact, you basically go to contact page. So what you're trying to do is you have one page called frames.html, right? And this one page actually have 2 other pages. If you go to home, This is page1.html and page2.html. Page1.html have 3 links, and the target for this link, because you remember when you say target you actually open up a new browser, you can also say target for this link is this frame. Okay, and you can say command from this frame to say please open this file. This is contact.html. And also I'll show you how to embed a YouTube video into an HTML page via the iframes. Okay, so let's open up our files and then we'll look at the files now. So the first file that you have to view is the frames.html. There's nothing fancy here. We just have to understand how to embed a page using iframe. Okay, so the tag name is called as iframe. Like anchor tag, you have the source, or image tag, you have a source. So iframe also have a source. You have to say which page you want to show in that iframe, and you can set the height. That's why if you see the height, you can set this height and the width of an iframe. And then only thing you have to say when you create an iframe is what page you want to load it here. So I'm saying I want to load page 1, and in the second iframe I want to load page 2. So that's why when you refresh the page, you see page 1 and page 2. Okay, 2 iframes has been created of height 300, and then 2 iframes are basically displaying page 1, the first frame, and the second frame is page 2. Alright, then you have h1 tag, that's nothing but the embedding YouTube in the HTML page. And then you can create an iframe and you can give the link of your YouTube video. Okay, when you give a link of YouTube video, make sure the path is like this, YouTube/embed, and then the shortcode of your YouTube video. Okay, once you place like this, then the YouTube video get embedded into that iframe. Okay, this is basically an iframe. In the iframe you are embedding that URL. Okay, very simple. You can control the height and the width as well. Okay, iframe is very simple to understand. It's like an image. To display an image, you want to just have the reference of the image. To display an iframe, you just need the reference of the HTML page. To what page, what video you want to embed and show in that frame, right? That is the first concept of having how to write iframe and how to display the HTML page. Okay, and remember that you can give names to your frame. Okay, here I've given a name, that is this frame. This frame has a name called as content frame. Okay, so when you click a link like contact link, when you click it, this is a frame that is having a name called as contact frame. So in this link I will say my target is this frame. Okay, let's open and see that in the contact page, in the page1.html, that's this one. You see the targets are not underscore blank. The targets are basically pointing to your iframe. Okay, this frame. That's why when you click them, this frame gets loaded with that page. And what page it is? It's this page, about.html, contact.html, and page2.html. So this is the page 1, that's what we are viewing now, page 1. And they are pointing to a target of this frame. And this frame is created from the frames, where you have created 2 frames, and the second frame we have named it with content frame. Alright, similarly for about, then you're just displaying the about page, and similarly for contact you're just displaying the contact page. Okay, page 2 basically displaying the page 2. There's nothing inside these pages. The most important thing is coming up from the frames.html. So in the iframe you just mention which pages you want to display, what is the height and the width. You can even choose to display a video, you can choose to display a HTML page, then you can choose to have a name for that frame, and you can, in the hyperlink, you can choose to mention what is the target you want to display in that frame. Okay, so it's a iframe is very simple to understand, like an image, or like an embedding some resource onto the page. I highly recommend you try this example of embedding a YouTube video onto your page, because this will be a most common scenario that you want to embed something onto your web page. So you at least know, if you have a YouTube video, how do you embed that onto an HTML page. And remember, you have to have this URL. If you just copy paste the URL, it will not work. You have to have this embed / the shortcode notation of your URL. Alright, so that's all about iframe. So I hope you know how to create iframes, how to embed HTML page in the iframe, how to embed a YouTube video into an iframe. Okay, if you're really confused, you can give a try, do some exercise, and understand how this thing works. So all these examples are available in the material folder, so you can go ahead and open it, and then you can have a look at it. Alright, so that's all about iframe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture on additional tags. So let's look some of the additional tags that we have. I'm going to create a folder called additional tags. Okay, I'm going to copy paste the files here. Let's open this up and view some of the additional tags we have. You can even double click to open the output. Alright, so this page basically have some additional tags which we haven't discussed till now. But if you look at all the tags like heading, links, embedding an image, article, starting, header, paragraph, then the footer, then having the footer and the line, all these things. Okay, so what are the additional tags? Let's look at it. So here are the additional tags in the HTML. One is called as header, one is called as navigation, one is called as a side, one is called as section, and one is called as footer. Okay, so how do you read this? If you read the HTML page, right? If you read the HTML page, you have something called as header, right? You have something called as header. Then you also have some navigation attached to it. You have some navigation, right? Then you have some a side. A side is the sidebar. Obviously, the sidebars and all those things is not visible because that is handled with CSS. So you will not be able to see sidebars and all those things. When we go to CSS, we will try to align all these things together. So you have to understand that HTML is given some tags which you can describe the parts of an HTML page. What could be the parts? Header is one part, navigation is one part, then sidebar is one part. Then apart from that, you have your section, which we have looked at in the previous section, article, header, and then you have your footer. Then you can also have footer as showing as the footer in the bottom. Well, this is how we organize our HTML page, right? If you're writing a website, you definitely have this kind of components. You will have a header and footer for sure, right? And you will have, maybe you have an sidebars, left sidebar or right sidebar or both the sidebars. You'll definitely have the navigation on the website, and then you will also have some sections. If you're writing an article, blog, or you want to display some section of text, then you will be using a section tag. Okay, so the additional tags that I want to show you is header, which is used to describe the header, navigation, which is navigation on the top, a side, which is nothing but the sidebar, section is the main content, and footer is the footer section. So these are the HTML tags already available for us to use, and this actually gives a cleaner readability of your HTML code as well. When you write like this, this is footer. If you imagine, if you make everything as p, right, everything as div or everything as a span, it's really hard to understand what section you're talking about. But you're using this kind of notation like a side, navigation, nav, header, and then footer, you at least know from the text itself what is the purpose of these tags and which section of the HTML page you're actually trying to write. Okay, so it's very important to understand. If you have such kind of structures in your HTML page, it is easy for future reusability and also extendability. So these are the 5 elements I want to show you as a part of additional tags. And make sure when you write HTML page, it is readable and it's extendable and it's basically easy to understand, right? When you want to make a change, it should be really easy for you to make a change. All right, so these are the 5 tags of the HTML, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture. So now that we have finished most of the tags that is used in HTML, let's do a quick recap. Let's create a folder of list of all HTML tags. This is a recap section. We're going to look into all the HTML tags now. Okay, so this is the file will be available in your material folder, so go ahead and open that file. Okay, so we'll do a quick review of what all we have seen in HTML. As a part of HTML structure, we have seen doc type and HTML, HTML starting and the ending, head section and body section, meta, title, and then h1 tag in the body section. And we talked about head is invisible, body is visible, and anything you want to describe about the page, you put in head. Anything you want to display on the content of the web browser, you put in body. Okay, and headings h1 to h6 are the headings, h1 being the biggest, h6 being the smallest. For paragraph, you use the p tag. For comments, you do like this. Horizontal lines, you write hr. Breaks, you write br. hr and br are self-closing. Text formatting, we have seen strong, emphasis, underline, italics and block quotes, and many other additional tags for formatting the text. Pre, you want to display the format as it is written, you can use the pre tag. Code tag to display the computer code. Then list, we have seen definition list, ordered list and unordered list, right? Links, we have seen anchor tag to link another page, anchor tag to name an anchor, and anchor tag to reference an anchor inside the same page. Then we talked about articles, we have section, article, header, p and footer. And also at the table level, we discussed about table, tr, th. Th is your headings, then td is basically your columns, and then you write rows with tr. Okay, then how to embed the contents. Image, you use img and you give the source of the image, width and the height of an image. Video, you best mention the video and then source and give the file name of the video, and you have to mention what is the type. And the text that you're displaying here is displayed when the video is not available, okay, or is not able to load into the page. On the audio, you can choose to have autoplay, so whenever the page gets refreshed, the audio gets played. You can have the source to mention where your file is and what type of the audio file it is. In terms of form, you have to write form, and then we saw about methods like get and post. We also saw the action is used to go to that page when submit button is executed. Okay, and then we talked about labels, input, different type of inputs type, right? Email and numbers and so many types, password. We have talked about all those things in the form section. Then div is basically a container to hold collection of elements. Even the span, we have also seen the difference between div and span. We talked about HTML entities, white spaces and case sensitivity. And remember, HTML entities, it starts with ampersand and with semicolon. Okay, something like ampersand amp and ampersand lt semicolon and gt semicolon. So if you see the less than symbol and greater than symbol here, the way I'm able to print a tag is basically with the HTML entities. So if you look at the page source, you will find all the entities is being used to print those tags. Okay, then we talked about iframes. Iframes is used to link up multiple pages into one page. You can use iframe and the source is basically a page or a YouTube video. Okay, you can name the content frame. You can name the frame so that when you want to render a page onto that frame, you can say ahref, the file name, and you can say target about that frame name. So when you click on the link, that page basically will be shown onto that target frame. Okay, and then the layout of the HTML page, we talked about header, navigation, sidebars, main and the footer. So that's how you basically have to organize your HTML page. Okay, so that's all about HTML tags that we have seen. This basically covers most of the tags that is required for you to build an HTML page, and there will always be new tags coming up, old tags removed in the HTML. So I'll give you a link where you can find all the list of the HTML tags with nice documentation as well. So you can go ahead and reference to all those HTML tags that is available in the specification. That's all on this lecture on listing of the HTML tags, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture. Let's look at what we have discussed in this section. Well, we have discussed about the HTML tags. We discussed about tables, how to create tables, how to create heading, footer and content, how to create borders for the table, and what is cell spacing, cells padding, column span and the row span. Then we talked about how to embed contents, like how to embed an image, how to embed a video, and also how to embed an audio. We talked about form methods, how to do a get and a post method and what is the difference between the two. Then we looked at the form action, how to navigate from one page to another page using forms when a user clicks the submit button. Then we talked about form fields, how to create text boxes, radio buttons, check boxes and all sorts of form elements. Then we talked about meta tags. Then we talk about difference between div and a span and when to use div. Well, we looked about div and span containers. Well, you can do a quick check. Visit any website, right click and check the source code. Well, you will find that div is often used in the web pages. Then we talked about white space, entities and case sensitive. Understand what is the importance of white space and also how to use entities in the HTML pages. Then we talked about iframes, how to embed multiple HTML pages in one page and how to embed a YouTube video onto an HTML page via the iframe. Okay. Then we talked about additional HTML tags for formatting the text. Well, there is also documentation reference for all these things that you have learned here. In that documentation reference, you will always find tons of examples and exercises for you to continue learning more about these tags. Hello and welcome to the summary section. By now you should know how to create tables in HTML page, how to embed contents like images, video and audio files, and I hope you have done this exercise to create the music download website. You should know how to add form elements with the HTML tags, and also I believe you have created your own contact form. Then also you know how to work with meta tags, div, span, and what is different between div and span and when to use them. Then white spaces, what are HTML entities, and the case sensitivity of the HTML document. And I believe you also worked with iframes. Now you know how to embed multiple files into a single page. And I believe you have created your own tutorial site using iframe. And also I believe there are tons of references given, so you had a time to look over it. And also there is a documentation link given where you can go and do more exercises on these topics. Okay, so that's all on this topic on intermediate.html, and I'll see you in the next one.